If I ask adults from 20 to 65, 70, what their biggest problem is, it's that they don't have enough time. And it is terribly sad to think that we have more time in the current generations than we've ever had, we humans have ever had in the history of the species. And we're not making good use of that time.
Americans put in longer hours and take fewer vacation days than workers in most other nations. Since the 2008 financial collapse, companies have rebounded with record profits. Workers aren't doing as well. And it's taking a toll. If we are living longer, expected to work longer, how can we sustain this?
So that we don't have future generations arriving at 60 and 70 feeling like all they want to do is get out of the workforce because they've been so overworked and beaten down that they need to escape.
The way we've organized work was made for people like Ozzie and Harriet.
Dinner will be ready in just a minute, darling.
Oh, good. Lamb chops, huh?
I hope you like them, sweetheart.
It was made for a family where one person, mostly the father, went off to work, the mother stayed at home and took care of kids. It didn't work too badly in 1950. I wouldn't say it was perfect, but it didn't work too badly. But it doesn't work at all now. The way we organize work doesn't fit with the demographic transformations that have happened over the last 50 years. So work reorganization is important for everybody.
And just how do we design a better work life? A work life more in tune with the 21st century workforce. One company outside of Atlanta is trying to figure that out.
What is hers?
8 years ago, WellStar Health Systems set out to create a new work culture.
You have a whole life.
Get your seatbelts on.
And while WellStar is certainly not responsible for every team member's personal lives, we do feel responsible for understanding what are those trigger points in people's personal lives that can create stress. And so we look at workplace flexibility.
Hi, my name is Norma, one of the nurses from the call center.
For Norma, a former bedside nurse, that flexibility allowed her a much-needed later life career shift within her workplace.
My husband is ill, and the extra money that I make here helps with defray his medical costs.
And it allows WellStar to keep their most experienced workers working longer.
Would you recommend our hospital?
We do it because it's good business.
WellStar's work reorganization adds options beyond flexible hours.
So what may fit for your work in your life today may look very differently than what it will look like when you're older or when you're younger. And so we try to put a number of programs and practices in place in our culture that help all of our team members find that work-life fit so that they have success both at work and at home.
They've gotten so big. No.
Antoinette is a full-time nurse and a mother of two.
Yeah, they haven't faxed it yet. It's really accommodating with the self-scheduling on Chronos. We're able to go in and put in our days if we can request days off. I was trying to see if you will be able to switch a day with me.
Sure.
The boys have a game. This is at the end of the season. If you need someone to switch, there's usually no problem with asking a co-worker to come in or work for you.
Any benefit offered to one group is offered to all, from top management to these hourly workers. In the laundry room, once a 24/7 operation, this team of workers represents 13 different cultures.
And one of the things that they talked about with their manager that was important to them was that they wanted the ability to be able to go to church on Sunday. It was a huge culture problem for them to not be able to do that.
The end result? The laundry is now closed on Sundays and still meets weekly demand, thanks to a flex-time solution designed by the team. Even though 80% of companies offer flex-time programs, Few innovate like the departments at WellStar. But more startling, a new report finds few workers participating. A recent review of the data came to this disturbing conclusion. In many workplaces, if you opt for flex options, you do so at your own risk. Workers who do get fewer promotions and pay raises, as well as poorer job evaluations. Men face more stigma than women, which may explain why men are now reporting more work-family conflict.
Unfortunately, I think a lot of employers may misinterpret that as they're less committed.
At Boston College's Sloan Center on Aging and Work, social researchers studying workplace flexibility believe many employers still expect the worker to devote his or her life to work.
The ideal worker, full-time, always there, and you'll always be there if I need you and want you.
But is this the 21st century workforce? Today, only a minority of both men and women say they want jobs with more responsibility, a dramatic change from 2 decades ago. Most surprising, the attitude change is greater among men than women.
Surely there's a way to think about the times in our lives where we're very devoted to work and we want to work a lot and everybody's really invested in career, and then other parts of our lives where it's not about work.
Antoinette is also at a time in her life when further education matters.
They offer a stipend where they'll pay for your schooling and you pretty much have a job once you get done.
Many of us who grew up in that baby boomer age group, work sometimes took precedent over our life. Well, I'm very proud of some of the younger team members because they really are seeing that career and life balance is mandatory. It's not just something they try to fit in, it's mandatory. If we're doing a better job at retaining our team members and strengthening their commitment and their loyalty to our hospital, that's going to show up in our financial performance.
And so far, it does. Employee turnover is low. Employee engagement is high. And the bottom line? WellStar's operating margin is 6%, at a time when many in the industry are struggling to simply stay in the black. Given our longer lives and longer working lives, confronting the work-life tug-of-war is crucial, not just for individual workers, but for the health of our economy and society.
We're in the midst of changing, remaking, and reconstructing. What are the shared expectations of what people can do and should do? It really does become a revolution not unlike, let's say, the Industrial Revolution for how we got work done. This is one about how we're going to live our lives in a number of different aspects.